Let's talk about travel. It's a topic that pops up all the time on the IELTS exam, right? And honestly, it feels like an easy one. But that's the trap. Just talking about sunny beaches or trying new food, that's not going to cut it for a top score. Not even close. So today, we are going to completely unlock this topic. I'm going to give you a framework that will help you move way beyond those simple answers and start generating the really complex, impressive ideas that examiners are desperate to hear.
So here's the game plan. First, we'll look at what I call the travel trap and why so many people fall for it. Then we're going to dig way deeper than the pretty postcard pictures to see what's really going on. I'll give you a super useful 4-lens framework to organize your thoughts. We'll put it to the test with a real question. And finally, I'll show you how this becomes your secret weapon for pretty much any IELTS topic. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, so first things first, this travel question trap. You see a question about travel on the exam and you think, great, I can talk about my last vacation. But that's exactly what they want you to think. These questions are actually designed to see if you can think critically and build a really layered, nuanced argument. Let's take a look at a classic example.
So, here it is. Traveling abroad is better than traveling domestically. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, be honest, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For most of us, it's stuff like, oh, it's more exciting, or it costs more, or maybe the thrill of a new culture. And look, those aren't wrong answers, but they're just the surface level. And if that's all you've got, you're walking right into that trap.
And here's the hard truth. If your whole answer is just a simple list of pros and cons, you're stuck. That's a band 6 answer, plain and simple. It's predictable. To get up into that band 8 or 9 territory, you have to show that you get the bigger picture, the kind of complex power dynamics that are really going on with tourism. So, the big question is, where do we find these deeper, more powerful ideas?
Well, to find those game-changing ideas, we have to look beyond the perfect, glossy postcard images, We need to peek behind the curtain and see the hidden realities of the global travel machine. Real-world issues, that's where the best arguments come from. And we're going to start with a really interesting example from Barcelona.
This leads us to a really powerful word, an academic term actually, tourism phobia. Now, it's not what it sounds like. It doesn't mean people are literally afraid of tourists. It's this concept that captures the growing anger and frustration in local communities who feel like their hometowns are just being swallowed whole by mass tourism. And let me tell you, dropping a word like this into your essay, it instantly makes you sound so much more sophisticated.
And this quote right here just nails the nuance perfectly. It's from activists in Barcelona, and they're being super clear. Their fight isn't with the visitors themselves. It's not personal. It's about the system. They're not anti-tourist. They're against an economic model that puts tourist money ahead of the actual people who live there. Now that is a powerful, high-level distinction to make in your IELTS essay.
So what are they actually fighting against? Well, it's all this stuff. We're talking about gentrification. When local people can't afford to live in their own neighborhoods anymore. We're talking about the insane environmental damage from huge cruise ships and all those flights. Public spaces, like parks, getting basically privatized for tourists. And an economy that's built on shaky, low-wage jobs. All of a sudden, travel isn't just about fun, is it? It's got this whole dark side, which is just packed with amazing, complex ideas you can use.
Okay, so we've seen how complicated the whole idea of tourism can be. But how in the world are you supposed to organize all of this when the clock is ticking in an exam? Well, that's where this next tool is an absolute lifesaver. It's a simple framework, but it is so effective for breaking down any question about travel.
I call it the 4-lens framework. Just think of it like 4 different pairs of glasses you can put on to look at any travel topic. If you look at an issue through each of these lenses, I promise you, you will never be stuck for ideas again. Let's break them down. First up, the economic lens. So instead of a simple idea like tourism creates jobs, we're going to ask better questions. Like, what kind of jobs are we talking about? Are they solid careers, or are they just seasonal, unstable work? Who's actually making the money here? Is it local shop owners or some giant international hotel chain? And who's footing the bill for all the new roads and airports that tourism needs? All right, next up is the social and cultural lens. This is all about the people. What happens to a community's soul when millions of tourists pour in? Does housing prices go through the roof? Does a vibrant neighborhood start to feel like, a tourist theme park? And are we talking about a real, genuine cultural exchange, or does it just end up causing friction and resentment?
Lens number 3, the environment. And oh man, this one is huge. You've got the carbon footprint from all that flying and cruising, but what about the land itself? Are we chopping down forests to build another giant resort? How does a place even deal with all the trash left behind by millions of visitors? Asking these questions immediately makes your answer sound way more thoughtful and critical.
And last but not least, we have the personal lens. This one's a little more philosophical. It asks, what's the whole point of travel anyway? Is it just about, collecting experiences like souvenirs and getting cool photos for Instagram? Or can it be something deeper, something that actually changes you as a person? This lens gets you thinking about what it means to be a responsible traveler today. Okay, now for the really cool part. Let's see this framework in action. We're going to take that original IELTS question and see how using these 4 lenses can completely transform a basic answer into a high-scoring one. Okay, check this out. On one side, you have the standard answer for why domestic travel is good. It's fine, Cheaper, supports local economy, pretty basic. But now, look at the framework answer. Using the economic lens, supports local economy becomes a much smarter point about avoiding those unstable foreign labor models. With the environmental lens, less travel time turns into a powerful argument about cutting the carbon footprint of flights. And with the social lens, we can bring in that awesome term tourismophobia and talk about reducing the strain on popular cities. See the difference? It's like night and day.
Okay, I've got a quick grammar tip for you. This is a game changer for making your writing sound more academic. When you're describing all this development and change, you want to use the passive voice. Seriously, it's your best friend. It shifts the focus from who did the action to the action itself, and it just sounds way more formal.
So for instance, instead of saying, the company built a hotel, you write, a hotel was built. Instead of they constructed roads, it becomes roads or constructed. The forest was cleared. You hear that? It's a tiny change, but it makes your writing sound so much more professional, just like a high-band response.
So we've got this amazing tool now. But here's the thing. The real magic isn't just about acing the travel questions. The real goal is to learn a new way of thinking. A way of thinking that you can use for pretty much any complex topic the IELTS exam can throw at you.
And this is what I really want you to remember. This 4-lens framework is not just for travel. It's a universal tool. Think about it. You can use it to break down questions about technology, education, globalization, anything. It's like a mental shortcut that helps you come up with smart, sophisticated arguments for any topic right when you need them. Which kind of brings us to our final thought here. The next time you're planning a trip, or even just see an IELTS question about travel, I really hope you'll think a little deeper than the surface. Ask yourself some of these tougher questions. Because honestly, understanding all this stuff doesn't just get you a better exam score, it makes you a more thoughtful, more aware person. So I'll leave you with this. Is your next trip just going to be another vacation, or could it be a real journey of transformation?